Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Remix.
Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Welcome in, everybody. A2D Radio. Every show we're brought to you by our doc, make him yours. Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, Burlington, Cherry Hill, Princeton locations. Find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Tom Arnone, Ryan Brodo, Ralph Delvecchio, Jake Friel, my man from Philly, the podcast, Joe Castro in the house. What's up, my brother?
What's good? Thank you for having me. Unfortunate circumstances, but always an honor to be working with my man. How you doing?
Listen, I thought I'd be doing better with a dub. We all know where we're at right now. But listen, everybody's on the couch tonight, and it's get it off your chest talk. All right? So everybody, we're here to allow you to get it all out. Get it out. Clear the room. Clear the room tonight because nobody should be happy. Because when I talked about a pregame show, about doing a postgame show, it was thinking that we were going to get a W tonight. It wasn't thinking that we're going to be sitting here talking about that we feel like we got dismantled. I mean, I feel abused. You know what I mean? That's how bad today was. It never at a point that I feel like we were going to win the football game today. And that can't happen. Okay? I talked about it on the pregame show all week long. Anybody wanted to listen. If this defense gave up more than 20, they should all be left at MetLife. Okay? Everybody left in the Meadowlands. This offense should not be beating you up like that. And for Daniel Jones to flat out sling it today is a disgrace. It's a flat out disgrace that we had to sit here and watch him sling it like it's the greatest show on turf. Okay? And I'm tired of missionary Jim Schwartz. I'm tired of no press coverage and nobody else coming but your front four. Listen, have a pulse and a feel for a game, Jimmy. Okay? You're getting no pressure. They go up and down the field on you. It's 14-3. You're still not bringing extra people. You're still not pressing guys. You can't make it up. I can't continue to watch Uncle Missionary anymore. It's a disgrace. All right? We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to get off our chest tonight. Our poll question brought to by Ambuck Services. 20% off. I don't know, man. If you broke a gutter today, you're in hurricane weather, you punched something or you threw something, the gutter fell off, 20% off. Tell the boys from A2D Radio sent you. AmbuckServices.com. Our poll. This should age well. The Eagles coaching staff is the biggest reason for the loss to the Giants. Agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. That's where we're live. Everywhere you get your podcasts, we're there as well. Like, subscribe, follow, download. You know the deal. Let's talk about it. Let's clear the air. Let's clear it out. All right? There's a lot of blame. It's the whole team. I watched an unprepared football team today. I watched a team take how many penalties? 9, 10?
A lot.
A lot. Unacceptable football today.
A lot of stupid penalties today, too.
You're right, man. Unacceptable football today. It looked like there was no emotion. There was no 1-2. I watched a team going through the motions today, especially early on. Right? They allow them to go down the field like that. Fine. That happens in National Football League. First drive, team score. You come back, you answer with 3. And for allow them to go back down, it looked like there was no emotion. It looked like nobody wanted to be here today. Okay? Everybody's to blame. Nobody was good today. Okay? In certain aspects of the game. There's guys who did some things well. Miles ran the ball well at times for the most part. Obviously averaged 6 yards a carry. Okay? But then couldn't catch the ball out of the backfield. Right? Let's look at the offense. You know? T-shirts. Non-existent. Greg Ward, Jalen Reagor are 2 biggest impactful guys today on the outside. You know, Alshon got snaps. That's cool. Cool. Glad to have you. I'm glad you can make it. Okay? Carson overthrew him once, but I mean, I feel like, I don't know. We're going to go up for a ball? I don't know. to me. I mean, it was like Ricky Waters again. It was like Ricky Waters. I'll be critical of everybody. Stop overthrowing everybody first off, okay? Clean it up. And you did today. He did clean it up. No turnovers. Let's give him credit for that. I'm done giving credit for shit that should be done anyway. Okay, I'm done making excuses for a football team that we thought and had aspirations when we looked at a roster in September that could go to maybe an NFC title game. For a quarterback to take the next step. All right? There's no answer for your quarterback on this roster outside of 11. And I told you all before I wasn't going to make excuses. Didn't play a terrible game. Didn't play a terrible game at all. Wasn't great. Wasn't bad. He was fine. But this whole offense around them, too. Terrible performances. Jason Kelsey. Travis Fulgham not existent. Okay? I mean, what else can we say? And then the defense gets shredded today. So the poll, the Eagles coaching staff is the biggest reason for a loss to the Giants. I mean, nope. I'm switching it up. I disagree. Players play, man. Players play. Okay? This coaching staff was bad today, too. They're bad today, too. Nobody, this guy disagree doesn't mean they were good. They were bad. We were against a division rival. It didn't look like anybody was fired up to play football today. We didn't tackle well. Nothing we did well. Everybody's wide open. And then when they're not, we can't get any pressure. So where's my $100 million D tackle? Where's Brandon Graham, who I love? Vinny Carey had the biggest impact. Vinny Carey. This is what we're talking about. All my money's up front. Malik Jackson, non-existent today. And we're going to sit back and blame one person. People are going to come in. I'm sure Carson. Then if you're Carson, all right, you didn't watch today's game because it was way more than just him. The whole team is responsible for a lackluster performance, a disgraceful performance, and something we had to sit through today as fans. So everybody deserves to be fired up. Now, who gets fired? I would fire Jim. Jim Schwartz would never got to the locker room. I would have been down on the field. Right? I've been on the field. Hey, I got your stuff. Don't worry about nothing. Here it is. If I'm Jeffrey Lord, here's your stuff. Okay, missionary, go home and just tell your wife, we're going to do the same thing again, honey. We're back to it. The same thing. You just lay there. Right like that. Don't move. Missionary talk tonight. Jim Schwartz. Done with him. So if I'm firing somebody, I'm firing Jim Schwartz. Right now, if I want to make a statement. Unacceptable is the word of the night. And you shall be pissed off. So, boys, to the poll. You guys talk about it a little bit. That felt good. I needed that. I tell people, well, why do you want to talk after the game? Len goes, what does it do for me? I said, you know what it does for me? It makes me feel better. I'm going to sleep great tonight because now they know how I feel because I had more energy today with a robe on. I had a robe walking around with a robe, pacing. My hands are here. I'm D'ing up. I feel like I had more energy with a robe on than my entire roster today. But let's go make some more T-shirts. All right? And crown guys on this roster. There ain't a person on this roster that deserves to be on a T-shirt unless they're getting embarrassed. Unless they're getting flat out embarrassed and exposed. Okay? From the owner up on down is the blame for this season and this football team that's continued to go south since they won a Super Bowl. Okay? So I put it on the guy who puts the roster together. I put it on the owner. I put it on the coaching staff. And I sure as hell put it on the players. And I'm done with excuses. We promised you one thing at A2D. No agenda, no matter how I feel about people. No matter how much I like somebody. I'll expose everybody. I'll expose myself if need be. Okay? Nobody gets free passes around here. We're built on nobody getting a free pass. We'll be Cowboys fans if we want to keep talking about 2017. That's what Cowboys fans do. We're better than that. So let's us move on. We're going to move on. What can we do to get better as a roster, as a general manager, coaches if we need them, players? There's nothing to be excited about. There's nobody you can hang your hat on and say, that guy's going to be a star. Even our franchise quarterback. I can't hang my hat on it anymore. I love him. I think he's tough as nails. I'll support the shit out of him just like I support this entire roster. But I'm done with it right now. I'm done. You got to do a lot to change my mind as an organization in first place in the division means nothing to me right now. We don't deserve none of it. None of it. So anybody wants to hang their hat on that, go watch cricket, okay? I'm hanging my hat on that. If you think this football team's a playoff team of any sort and isn't a top 10 pick team, you're delusional now. There's no resiliency like there was in years past. That resiliency's out the window right now. And now you got a gauntlet schedule. And another thing, last thing I'm going to say, is we always play down the competition, but I don't know if we're just worse than the competition we're playing, period. We might just be worse than everybody. But we always play down, and then we'll play up the other teams that we shouldn't be in games against. Okay? That goes to coaching, too. So I disagree with the poll fully on coaching being the most to blame because I think players play. And we know, for the most part, we got a good coaching staff. Right? We all praise them as the top 10 staff in the league before the season started, just like we praise this roster in terms of being a top roster, like top 10, 12 roster, playoff roster, right? So who plays? You think Doug forgot how to coach? No, the 2-point conversions are delusional. Delusional. Fire every analytic guy. Because the analytic guy told you, hey, you're down 4. Doug, you're down 4. So an extra point makes it a 3-point game. But no. We're going to outthink the room. Outthink everybody. We're the smartest kid in the freaking shelter, right? And the smartest kid in the shelter. And go for 2 here. Smart. Because we don't have all the momentum on our side right now. Right? All the momentum was on our side. Yeah, you boot him in, and you go kick the ball away. Jeez, I can't continue to watch dumb decisions. Right? So I will put that on Doug Pederson. I will put some play calling on Doug Pederson. I will put 9-10 penalties on Doug Pederson. But overall, players play. Players hold. Players grip. Everybody unprepared this week. So, boys, to the poll. And we'll get to all the family out there. I know you're chiming in. Like, that made me feel better. Everybody else, make yourselves feel better. The Eagles coaching staff is the biggest reason for the loss to Daniel Jones and the New York Giants. Wayne Goldman's Bo Jackson, by the way. He's Bo in his prime, Wayne Goldman, today. That's all I got. I'm done. Time's yours. Andy Reid, time's yours.
Go ahead, Ralphie.
No, you can go. Go ahead, Ryan.
No. I need you to go.
You go, Joe. You're the guest. You go.
I'll go.
We'll pass the room around. Let's go. We'll pass the remote.
Okay, yeah, I'll take it on. Listen, man, we said it in the off camera. I've said I'm frustrated for weeks on end. This week, I kind of gave, during the bye week, I was like, it's a brand new season. We can be 500. We can restart everything. We're getting healthy. We have new players. We had new players, I should say, and we saw the same exact thing we've been seeing every week. Every single week, it seems we are unprepared, whether it's running out of plays, whether it's not putting your players in the correct position. I saw the same fake motion from Jalen Reagor twice, and both times I believe they ended in sacks. It's like the play calling was ridiculous. To answer the question blatantly, I'm on the fence. Because I kind of agree with you. The players play, but the coaches need to coach too. There has to be changes made. And I'm not saying fire this person. I've been on the fire Jim Schwartz since me and you did our show back in the day. I've been saying we need to fire Jim Schwartz. But I'm not saying, fire Doug Pederson right now. I'm saying he needs to realize his way is not working and hold himself accountable. Carson didn't play terrible, but he didn't play great. Miles Sanders, like you said, he put his cleats on his hands this week for some reason because he could not catch a ball. Ran well. Our defense, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know, week to week, even play to play, they look like a totally different defense. 1 week you look like Darius Slay's out there making great plays. The next week he's losing track of the ball on a one-on-one against Darius Slay. It's a Slayton, I should say. It makes no sense. I just want to see 1 week of consistency where all 22 players play well. I understand our offensive line's a little bit beat up. I understand we can make a million excuses. But like you said, at this point, it's like something's got to happen, and like I said, I'm not saying fire, but I'm not saying complete rebuild. I think we have talent on the team. I think we're just not utilizing it correctly. And I don't know what Doug Pederson was thinking about with that 2-point conversion, even when it was happening. I'm watching it with my roommate, and he's like, hey, well, he's playing for the win. He's, you never know. And he's trying to play devil's advocate, but I'm just sitting there and I'm like, no, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, you don't even do that in Madden. It's just like the stuff that he does is just so questionable that you can't continuously give anyone a pass. Like you said, you can't say, this person did this because of that. That person did. Everyone is at fault right now. Everyone is on the chopping block. I mean, it's just embarrassing. We lost to the Giants. We lost to and they have been playing better, but we lost to the Giants when we're as close to full health as we're probably going to get this year. This is a disheartening win or loss, I should say. This is probably the most disheartening loss we could have had this season. The Washington one hurt, but this one is just. You come off a bye, you think that you're going to be maybe a different team. It was ugly. It was ugly. I don't even know how to call it. You can't. How do you even analyze that game?
You can't.
You know what I'm saying?
Analyze it by saying it didn't look like anybody wanted to be there. It looked like a lot of people took the day off. You know what I mean?
The Giants wanted to be there. Apparently, that's about it.
They definitely did. I know the comments are flying in. Brian Daly, that's true. I see no coaching up on the sidelines. So, I mean, I see zero coaching up on anything. Like, the only guys I've ever seen, go over to people really is Jimmy. You know what I mean? But I don't see really much coaching up on the sidelines at all.
Even if you look at special teams, if you look at some of the special teams plays, and this sounds so basic, it is, but
but that's the problem.
Some of these balls that he let go by him made no sense. It's like fair catch, you'll save us 5 or 10 yards. Like, what are you doing? Like, what do you guys? And Doug, I feel like it's Dave Phipp, not Doug Phipp. Dave Phipp, I feel like, is probably the most consistent outside of Stoutland as far as our coaches go. And now I'm even questioning, what is he teaching you guys? Like,
it's unbelievable because we've talked about this a lot. I've never seen a team quite like the Philadelphia Eagles to where they pride themselves so much on special teams. Well, really, we talk about it every year to where special teams is becoming more and more irrelevant because you're seeing how rare the kick returns for touchdowns are or obviously punt returns. And then you always hear, the Eagles, Howie Roseman, Doug Pederson, Phipp, they all talk about, hey, we have these special teams experts. We have these guys to where we're signing them because they're great on special teams. All they're good for anymore is getting these ridiculous penalties. I mean, we saw it twice on where we were actually able to return the ball. Boston's got both time. Pretty good returns. They come all the way back.
Yeah, 15-yarders. One was a block in the back. The other was a hold. So you're talking about 10, 15 yards, right? Yeah. I mean, the little things, like Joe said, it's the little things that are going to win or lose you games in the National Football League, especially when you're not good, especially when you put yourself behind the 8 ball like they did again today. Bill Middlebrook chiming in, blaming just Doug and Carson. I get it. They weren't good. They weren't anything special today. But again, when your defense puts you in a hole, I don't care about other games. We're talking about today's game. What happened today? Game and game out are different games. Okay? So today's game's different than last week. Right? So today's game, what happened? You got punched in the face early. All right? And they answered. They go up 14-3, puts you in a whole different play calling scenario. And the whole game you're playing catch up in a way. Because did you ever feel out there, and I want somebody to tell me they felt different. Did you ever feel like they were winning that game today?
The Eagles?
Yeah.
The Eagles? No shot. Hell no.
Not even emotional.
When did you guys feel that, guys? Guys, when did you guys feel that? 14-3? 14-3 start to set in like, oh, we're going to win this one.
Honestly, seeing how easily they got that first touchdown kind of made me be like, this is going to be a long game.
That summarizes it perfectly because the way I felt so early in this game and the reason why, because again, like I didn't want to say I lost all hope early because we've seen the Eagles come back like crazy. And hell, we saw it 3 weeks ago against the same team. And we were down 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter with 5 minutes to go. So we've seen crazier things happen. But the reason why this game felt so different and so lost so early, it's because of the whole thing of, hey, we always hang our hat on, okay, well, Carson's going to come up when he needs to, even if he's having a horrible game. It's not, it was out of his hands. It was that Carson can play great for the next 3.5 quarters, but we cannot stop them to where we cannot put up enough points quick enough because our defense, they don't cause turnovers to where you can make up a quick, 10, 14 points within a 2-minute span. That's not happening. And you're not getting off the field on third downs on defense. And It was just a circle to where any result, whether it was a great response by Carson, even though they only got 3 points coming out, in the first drive, whether it was them going 6 for 6 and a touchdown coming out of the half, looked awesome, looked really good. It never felt like a win to me because we could have never confidently said with a straight face, our defense came to play today. They were prepared. They honestly, in a way, they looked similar to how they did in the Rams game week 2, to where they were just absolutely shelled. They didn't know what they were doing. They were running in the opposite directions. It was embarrassing.
Right. They look outmanned. I mean, you're looking at defense, got a ton of money on it. I'm looking at Pro Bowl corner.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
On that side of
it. Big money guys all up front, all over the field. And it looked like a defense. It looked like a defense that was a bottom 5 defense in the National Football League today. That's unacceptable. We can talk about Carson and Doug today all we want. I don't think Doug got his football team prepared today at all. All right, he deserves blame for not having his football team prepared. Absolutely. The 2-point conversions are mind-boggling. All right, some play calls are mind-boggling. I'm right there with everybody. But my focus right now is, and came in hot in this show, is this defense shouldn't have been able to leave MetLife. They should have had to walk home down the turnpike if they gave up more than 20 and didn't take the football away today. They didn't either. Neither. How many sacks did this defense get today? And don't even count the Fletcher Cox before halftime. Okay, with your little shimmy at halftime. Grow up.
I'm sick of that. I'm so sick of that. Like honestly, these guys and the one move Vinny Curry, and granted, Vinny Curry was like the only guy that was like alive on defense today, so I'll give him credit a little bit. But it's like these guys dance around, they celebrate like they're not, like they're freaking, like they're undefeated, like they're the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's like, guys. And I was joking with somebody in our comment section on Instagram because they were like, well, what do they do all bye week? I'm like, I don't know. Do they review the tape from the Super Bowl because they still think that they're champions? You know what I'm saying? It's like, guys, the parade was almost 4 years ago. You have 3 wins. 3 wins. What are we at a tie?
We're not Cowboys fans. We've gone south as an organization, and it's time to face reality that we need big-time changes. And I'm not sure. I got to see how this season plays out to really know what them big-time changes totally are. I got a feel starting with linebacker position. I got a feel starting with maybe moving on from Fletcher Cox and freeing up some money to go in a different direction, because I did sign Javon Hargrave. I did sign Malik Jackson. They're signed. I can go in a different direction at the end of the year to free up money. So there's ways and things I can do at the end. I don't want to get to the end of the year yet because, listen, there's still football to be played, obviously. It's not like we're out of it, even though we flat out stink. We are terrible. We're disgusting. But we're still in it if you want to have a glass, semi half full. But this is bad. This is bad. What I watched today is a million things wrong.
Atrocious.
Tom, you know what I blame, honestly? And people could say this is a cop-out answer, but honestly, this is my genuine answer to the poll question. The biggest disgrace on this entire football team, and it could go to anybody. That's the beautiful thing about it, is our performance on third down. Okay? Now, we can talk 0 for 9 today, right? And I know the point of the show is just to talk about today's game, but really, and this is why I kind of lean
No, Ryan, we've been doing this long enough. I love trends, so don't,
Yeah, see, we read our minds because that was the next word that was coming out. So you got very good. That was good. So we talk again about the coaching staff, right? And this is why I lean towards agreeing to the poll, even though if you want to blame a player, you can. Everyone's fair game at this point. That's just the way it is. But when we talk about trends, right? And Jim Schwartz talked about it, Carson Wentz talked about it, and especially Doug Pederson talked about heading into this bye week, figuring out what works and solving our issues. And we've been talking all about in the past years. Okay, we might not be good at a lot of things, but we're getting it done on third down, right? So over the past 4 games, and this is a trend, over the past 4 games on third down, we are 10-42 on third downs the last 4 games.
Yeah,
10 out of 42.
That's pretty bad, huh, boys?
Listen, at the end of the day, there's certain money situations when you talk about coaches, offensive play callers, and you talk about the quarterback position. There's money downs. Where I get paid for is my third downs. What I get paid for is what I do in the red zone. And if we talk about how great Carson has been in the red zone in the past, then we have to talk about how bad he's been and stuff. That's not good enough to win football games. That's not a creative offense to me. That's not something that teams don't know. That smells like everybody knows what's coming. That's what that smells like. And that's not good. And I'm okay with Doug Pederson calling plays, guys. But I still believe there has to be, and I don't mind saying a titled offensive coordinator. There just always needs to be somebody with you, dude. Because if the second you think in anything, we talk about it here, I talk about it here, you guys all the time. You know, the second you think you're the smartest person in the room and you don't need help on anything is the second you failed. That's the second you failed. So I hate to say this because I'm a Doug believer. I love Doug. But it is what it is. When there's smoke, there's fire. And what the smoke's telling me is that you think you're the smartest guy in the room after the Super Bowl. So you think you can do whatever you want. And listen, I'm not saying the guy upstairs is giving you a lot in terms of Howie Roseman. But at the end of the day, this play calling hasn't been good enough. Your third down designs haven't been good enough. Your red zone designs haven't been good enough. So the money downs for my quarterback and coach have not been good enough this year either. So when we talk about the whole team, I'm not going to leave anybody out tonight, and I know these guys aren't either. Everybody's up for grabs. There isn't anybody on this team that I'm like, no, I'm gonna leave the rookies out of it, right? It's like leave rookies out of it because that's not even anything to say, right? So besides the rookies, there's nobody on this team that I'm like, that I'm saying I want him here forever. Nobody. That's telling for a guy like me because you would ask me last week, Carson's here forever. Nobody's here forever anymore.
The last thing I'll say real quick, because I before Ralphie and Jake goes, is this, to your point, Tom, because you're spot on. My fear going back to September, and we talk about this every week, and it's becoming truer and truer to this point. As much as we want to look the other way, it's obvious now. The culture of this organization is broken. It starts with this GM smelling himself, putting the basics aside of what worked, and thinking, man, I was a hero because I outthought the room 3.5 years ago, so I'm going to try it every move since then. No, we didn't win the Super Bowl because you stole Jay Ajayi. That helped. We won the Super Bowl because you made really good acquisitions like LeGarrette Blount and Chris Long. You know what I'm saying? The smart moves, not the sneaky moves, the smart moves. Then you go to Doug Pederson. And like I said, I'm not – if people want to say fire Doug, fine. Because, again, I'm not – if you want to say trade Carson Wentz for a third, if you want to say fire, whatever, fine. Because the team sucks right now. We're broken as it is. So.
Doug gets one more for me, but that's it. Like if you have a bad year next year, I'll give you the one more for the Super Bowl. I'll give you one more because you're going to the playoffs a bunch of times. So, I'll give you one more and call it a bad year. But that's all you get for me. You get one more. If you have a losing season again, and I can't defend that.
It just comes down to he needs help, and that's okay. The greatest coaches, the greatest players, they need help. They can't do it all himself. And for him and this organization, whether it was Jeffrey Lurie who signed off on it or just Doug going up top, he needs a coordinator. He needs a voice because as much as we laughed at Frank Reich getting crowned, listen, I'm not crowning Frank Reich because he's Frank Reich. I'm crowning him because he was a voice in the room when Doug needed it most.
Anybody, right? Frank Reich or me and you. I mean, Frank Reich's not the smartest guy in the room either. So Frank Reich, me or you, Ralphie, Joe, Jake, I don't give a rat's ass who's in there. Somebody just needs to be in there to give the other voice. Like,
we have like 15 people there. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But we have like 15 people there. It's like, what are they doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are all these guys hired for? And I understand you think you're the smartest guy in the room, but like, how many times can you tell a grown man to shut up? Like at some point, like if I'm Deuce Staley, if I'm Rich Scandrick, I can't say his last name. If I'm any of these guys that are on, him. If I'm him, if I'm any of these guys, I'm going to a press conference and I'm saying, listen, man, nothing I can do is going to happen. And it might sound like you're throwing people under the bus, but this is a business. You're going to lose your job.
Spot on.
You're going to look bad. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Doug Pederson's going to walk away from this and say, we have to get a new staff. You're not going to be the person that wins this argument. So somebody's got to be a man in that room. I hate to say it like that,
Ralphie, before you go, Andrew Bailey, I know he's all excited, right? I mean, you're all jazzed up, right? You probably, you got the candles, you're getting ready for tub time, right? I smell it. I smell your excitement that 11 didn't play great. I smell your excitement, which is disgusting to me and agenda-based, but hey, that's fine. He said, it's funny how the guys who left are suddenly the reason we won a Super Bowl. The guys that left are retired. So half the guys that left are retired, dude. Like when you talk about a Super Bowl, you expect that roster to stay together forever. No, you have to retool. And I don't think as a general manager, Howie Roseman has even done a decent job retooling. I think it's been a horrendous job retooling. So when you talk about blame, it's not just one place. It's not one place, guys. The blame's all over. Okay? Everything stinks. Like, and I mean by smells bad. So if I go into NovaCare, every office smells bad, right? Every coordinator, every coach, every player, everybody stinks and smells bad. Okay? Nobody's off limits. But you want to hone in, here he is. Look at the binoculars, Andrew. Here he is. Carson. Come on, bro. Watch the game. Got a lot of guys. A lot of guys aren't good. Where's T-shirt hero? Where's the T-shirt hero? For 8 and 100. Where's he at? Where's he at? Because if he got open, if he gets open, he gets the ball. Mm-hmm. So obviously he got shut down today a little bit, which happens. I'm not out on him. You know what I mean? I'm just not gonna overdo expectations for anybody on this roster. For anybody. If I think somebody's that good, then they show up today and make big plays. That's what happens. That's what happens, guys. That's what happens. We're so quick to love all our guys, but if we have talent, they show up and make big plays in a big game today. We don't have it. We overvalue everything, and we've been doing it before 2017. Mm-hmm. We love our own. I get out of my own too. I'm guilty of the same things. But we're like uncle over-evaluators. We love everybody. Everybody loved besides Jalen Hurts essentially because we hated the pick. But like everybody else is like loved, right? Anybody we pick ever. It's like I see 10,000 YouTube videos, which like if I put a YouTube tape together of like my 13 catches or 14 catches my senior year from Joe Flacco, you'd be like, woo, where'd you go? You playing prime time. You know what I mean? Like I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it all. I'm tired of losing. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I got a lot to say. I'm upset.
Okay, go right ahead.
Yeah,
you're allowed to.
Therapy. I want to get the comments too. I know you guys. You got tons of you guys. Joey, Bill, DB, and nerdy sports guy. F Doug Pederson. I'm all down for that. But I mean, I got to give him one more. I think it's only fair. Mm-hmm. Personally. DB says hire Sam Hinkie. Start it over. Start her over. You're talking to Yusef. Yeah, he had a bad game plan for the Cowboys, Greg. You're right. And then that was 10 days. And then you're talking about 2 weeks, and it's another bad game plan. Mm-hmm. Another bad game plan. I agree with this comment, too. No, not that one. I don't agree with you, Rob. I don't agree with you, Camden, for. I mean, I got to read it. I'm not saying I don't agree with you. I got to read it. Another one like disappeared. Oh, here we go. Howie's ego is becoming their downfall. Mm-hmm. I agree with that. I agree with a lot of egos could be their downfall. You win a Super Bowl, egos happen. Mm-hmm. The guys who win numerous ones put the egos to the side.
It's honestly like we're still in, because the egos have gotten so crazy, it's like we're still in that Super Bowl hangover. It's like the organizations, it's like, yeah, we can excuse it for a season. Like that's the ego season, right? Like I think we can we know that now being on the other side of a championship. It's like us as Eagles fans. I mean, we were calling the whole city of champions when Villanova, who's technically not even the damn city, when they won a championship. So we had to check our own ego. You know what I'm saying?
Don't start. They're not
what?
Filthy. They're not filthy. I mean,
as I said, I agree.
No, I'm just telling people, like, don't put it out there into the audience because I was going to get upset and they're not filthy. Like, I don't care.
Yeah. No. Geographically, ladies and gentlemen, look at a map. Not Philly.
Sorry, Manny. We're sorry. Go ahead, Roger.
Yes, my apologies in advance. But it's like, okay, I can't. Like, it's almost comical now. We're about to be 4 years away from a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Like, it's time to get over it. Like, and I used to do it all the time. I did it a couple weeks ago. Like, oh well, this happened in 2017. Yeah, you know what? A lot of stuff happened in 2017. A lot of stuff happened 6 months ago. It's not the same world. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's time to stop looking back.
You want VHSs? You got, you can go get VHSs 20 years from now.
Exactly.
We should be better than that. We're not. Mm-hmm. But we should be better than that. It should be. All right, we didn't even get to you two jabrones yet. Over here, just hanging out, with us.
Yeah, I'm letting you guys go because
You guys
what
are
I
in the
saw
7.
today-
You guys have like front row seats.
Yeah, right.
Hey, it's fine by me. I'll let you guys rock.
So the Eagles coaching staff is the biggest reason for the loss of the Giants. Everybody out there chiming in. We're going to read them all off in a second when these boys are done. But, what do you guys say? Agree or disagree? Everybody out there, what do you guys say? Who's your blame guy today? Is it everyone like I think this panel thinks?
Yeah, for me,
Or
I'm going to go disagree, and I'm going to say what Jason Kelsey said in his Super Bowl speech. The whole team. It's the whole team. Everybody from the top down, from the GM to the owner to Pederson to Schwartz, the whole coaching staff, the players. I mean, Jesus Christ. What I saw today was no heart. They didn't even want to. It seemed like they didn't even want to be there. I mean, like you said, Tom, you're down 14-3 to a 2-7 Giants team that had no right to be there, or even be in the game with you, right? Because they're banged up, and we're starting to get healthy a little bit. We got some guys back today, and it still looked like we couldn't even put the X and O's together. So I mean, for me, I'm a disagree, but it's the whole team. It's everybody in the organization, everybody. And the thing with Jim Schwartz, real quick before Jake goes, I still don't understand why we're having Darius Slay line up 25 yards off the ball. I don't get it, man.
Yep.
I don't get
missionary.
it. No, put him. Can we get him? One-on-one, uptight. Please, something. No, I mean, 25 yards off the ball for a guy like that's a lockdown is unacceptable for me.
It's not going to happen, Ralphie. As long as Jim's in
He
the
should be
city, it's
jamming
not going to
every
happen.
play. He should be up in that wide receiver's grill every single day.
I agree. I agree.
Missionary. That's all I can continue to say about it.
Oh, and where's this whole defensive line? That we were shown in the offseason. All the money up front for the defensive line.
It's
We're
like
rotation guys, right? Where are these guys at?
Ralphie,
Right?
Ralphie, you're spot on. It's like they're talking all week, like, oh, we're the healthiest we've been on both sides of the ball. In the beginning of the game, freaking T.Y. McGill's out there. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys are saying for the past 2 weeks, oh, we're so healthy. Oh, we're exactly where we want to be as a defense. Who's T.Y. McGill? I thought we had T.Y. Hilton on the field. I'm like, T.Y.? What's T.Y.? Thank you? Like, what?
Mike, I agree with you. I would fire Jim Schwartz. I would have fired him on the field. I would have been right down there. We're just spread it down. I don't even need the elevator. I'm hopping out the box. You know what I mean? I'm getting down there that quick. Okay.
And the funny thing too with Jim Schwartz is he doesn't bring pressure all game long. But when you're down 2 scores, now we're setting.
Yeah,
Now we're
seriously.
setting the whole team's going when you're down 2 scores.
Yep.
Doesn't make sense.
Nope.
And the thing about having people play 25 yards off the ball, like there's no adjustments to them. Like Daniel Jones is throwing 3-yard slants every play, and they're picking up 15 yards because you're giving them 15 yards. It's just adjustments for Jim Schwartz is getting old, and it's getting old fast, man. And it's pissing me off.
With Jim Schwartz, I'd rather, and with our defense in general, I'd rather, and this might sound funny, but just hear me out. I'd rather see our players get beat in multiple ways, multiple different ways, than continuously see the same exact
Same thing over
You know
and
what I mean?
over
Like
and over again.
every time, it's like this guy's not gonna. He can't. Same thing what you can say with Rasul Douglas. Rasul Douglas, I think, has come down a little bit to earth with the. I think it's Panthers that he's with now, or whatever team he's with.
Jeff, forget Rasul. Sydney. This is
You can look at so many different players. You just put them in terrible positions, and then you throw them to the wayside and blame it on the player.
Yeah.
We can't continue.
And then they go to a different team and they become Hall of Famers. Like it's insane to me. And it seems like it happens to every Philadelphia team here in the city. Right? We have a great guy come in, we ruin him, and then he leaves and he turns into a Hall of Famer. It happens every time.
You're right. When you like Chip Kelly was like this, there's a lot of coaches that were like this. When you think that your system is bigger than any player and your system fits any player. So that's my definition of missionary. When you don't change, when you don't adapt. We saw Doug Pederson adapt one time. You know, we watched him adapt.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, you can do it. I've never seen Jim Schwartz adapt ever. It's I'm gonna rush 4, I'm gonna play 10 yards, and it's bend but don't break, and hopefully in the red zone I get stops. It literally is like I'm holding on tight for a crash. Like that's what I'm just waiting for it to crash. We want to crown a guy who Brady. I feel like they scored 50 points in the Super Bowl. I mean, 500 plus yards. That guy did the job forever.
He should have been fired after that game.
I still don't understand the 2-point conversion
on the podium.
When it's 21-17. I don't understand the 2-point conversion there. I don't. You kick the field goal. You're down by 3. All you're going to do is drive down the field, right? Hopefully you do, because your offense hasn't done shit so far, right? Hopefully you can get a drive down the field, okay? And kick a field goal and tie the game up at 21. But no, we got to be the smartest man in the room. Now you don't get it. Now you have to score a touchdown on your next drive to at least take the lead.
It's about momentum, Ralph. I'm more about the momentum side of it.
Exactly.
Why even go for it? Kick the extra point, and keep the momentum on your side.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
But no, unfortunately, got fired on the podium at the Super Bowl. How great was that?
He should have got kicked off like they were throwing beers off. Just throw the shorts off the bus.
Yeah.
Just throw them off the
Right on the podium.
Super Bowl trophy shit. Go ahead, Tommy. Go ahead.
No. I just wanted to say that's all I wanted to say. Like, here's Super Bowl. Here's Super Bowl trophy.
It's the same thing with the defense as well.
What? I didn't hear you.
Oh, it's the same thing with the defense as well. My bad. I'm just fucking jacked up right now.
Hold on. I'm backing up. I'm sorry.
With the defense as well. The offense goes down and score, and then the defense like, you know what? Nah, I don't feel like playing right now. Here you go, Daniel Jones. Let me just do a read option, 75 yards, and nothing else. There you go, buddy. Just drive right down our goddamn throats. Because that's what the Eagles defense does. But it's been like that for the past 2 to 3 years now. Whenever the offense scores, the defense just crumbles on the next possession.
Isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing? Like, and both sides of the football don't help each other out. But it's like
it doesn't, dude. It doesn't make sense, man. Doesn't make sense. Like, when can you? How should I put this? When was there a time when the Eagles' offense and defense were so good at together for the whole year? The whole year.
Oh yeah, no. You know funny?
Even week to week, right? Like 1 week the offense looks amazing, the defense looks horrible. Then the next week the defense looks amazing, and the offense can't do jack shit. We can never get a whole game with both sides of the football, and it seems like in forever.
Ralph, I have the answer to that, Ralph. It was the 2018 NFC title game against the Vikings. That was the last time we saw it.
Yeah, that's probably in what? Let me check. Yeah, about 4 years now.
I mean, I got a whole complete game. We probably had some in 20. We probably had some in 2018 because we didn't play bad football in 2018. So, like 2017, 2018, we played good football. But anything past that, no.
And then you look at the rest of the schedule. It's like Jesus, Browns, Packers.
Ralphie, I don't even. I wanted to answer to Don because Don was like, "Hey, who are you playing next?" Don, I don't even feel like we could beat Average Joe's Gymnasium. You know what I'm saying? For freaking dodgeball, like who? You know what I'm saying? Like who are we? Who are we?
Yeah. I am now expecting.
The Jets might beat us right now.
I'm waking up expecting. I'm waking up on Sunday morning saying, "L," like in my head, "L." I'm not going into games thinking W's anymore. I mean, how could you? If anybody out there doing live streams,
Daniel Jones, go ahead.
If anybody out there is doing live streams and they predict an Eagles win next year, turn it all off. Next week, turn it all off. Shut your computer down.
Next year too, because it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse next year. It's going to get worse.
The play. Oh my God, the cap space.
Ralphie, you're banned to give a win out until they win one. Everybody in the city of Philadelphia is banned from predicting wins until they win a game.
I'm going to predict a tie. I'm going to predict a tie before I predict a win again, and that is a fact.
There you go.
I swear.
I think when we have the Browns next, their offense is going to kill us. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
We have the Browns next.
We're going to get into that game in a few, but that game, I mean, we're stopping that running game? Okay. Keep
have fun.
Keep spitting in my face and telling me I need water. You know what I mean? Like he's spitting in my face telling me I need water. Grow up. I mean, they might go for 275. Like, we might get off the field. Their time possession literally might be all them, and we get like 3 minutes. Like, it could be.
Right.
Jake.
Yeah. Oh, hey, how are you? Great to see you. Just have to say, I'm happy to be here. Real happy to be here.
No, Jake,
But,
Jake, I have something for you. Jake. Hold on.
What is it?
Find it. I think this is perfect.
Hello. Wake up.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Hello. Do something.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, no,
I look at Jake.
it's ridiculous. No, but like honestly, I disagree. I agree to pretty much what everybody said. From top to bottom, it's an absolute failure. And I think this next, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll say 6. I'll throw the Cowboys in there. This next 6-game stretch is just terrible. But from just before I get into that, just from top to bottom, starting from Howie Roseman, even the owner, even Jeffrey Lurie, starting from the GM and Howie Roseman, going to the coaching staff and going to the players. You had 10 days to prepare, and I don't know what anybody in this entire organization was doing during that entire bye week. I guess no one was watching film. Everyone's just relaxing and be like, oh, it's the Giants, whatever. We haven't lost to them since 2016. Well, here we are. But and to be honest with you guys, we're not going to win against the Browns, the Seahawks, the Packers, the Saints. Kyler Murray right now, the Cardinals are just down 23-7. Kyler Murray brought him back. He's going to run all over us. If you thought Daniel Jones was bad, just wait until you get a look at Kyler Murray. But it's just from top to bottom. I think this is really going to divulge into a complete and utter organizational failure. And what I mean by that is, I was watching the post game on, what was it? I was watching on Comcast Sportsnet, and something that one of the analysts said interested me. They're like, well, usually Doug Pederson's here right now, but he's a couple minutes late. They said he's still in the locker room. So take that for what you will, whatever that may be. But it's just from top to bottom right now. It just looks like a complete and utter organizational failure. You brought in players, bad contracts. Players aren't playing well. People are in this organization that I think should have been gone a while ago. And just from, like I keep saying, top to bottom, I think it's going to get worse, to be honest with you. I think it's really going to get worse during this next 5-game stretch.
Everything that showed me Howie Roseman last year at the trade deadline, when all your wide receivers were banged up, and you were refusing to give a second round or a third round pick for Robbie Anderson. How's Robbie Anderson doing in Carolina right now?
Pretty well.
Would love to have him.
You refuse to give away Miles Sanders and just a measly second-round pick for DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins is pretty good. Last time I checked, I mean, it's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but last time I checked, he's pretty good. But what were we saying, Rye?
No, go ahead. Continue.
Okay, but and this is my final point. During and this is kind of like a bold prediction. I hope it doesn't happen, but with the trend downward that we're seeing from this team, it wouldn't shock me during this next 5-game stretch is if we see Jalen Hurts get the nod, in my opinion. It would not surprise me. If this team continues to trend downwards, right, like this, it wouldn't shock me. It would not shock me at all if we see Jalen Hurts get the nod.
Then you lose
You're not wrong.
Wentz, to me. You lose all trade value of Wentz if you put him down.
Oh, absolutely. No, I agree with you.
That's why they may not. That's the only I mean, I don't disagree with you. You know, if we continue to play like shit, sure.
Bill asks really a question. He says, poll for you 5 guys. If you woke up tomorrow and you hear Doug has been replaced by the towel guy, would you guys care, honestly?
No.
No, I would just say, Bill, no, just because tomorrow's the beginning of the NBA season and there's going to be a lot of NBA moves made. So my focus has shifted. My focus has shifted over. But no, probably not. I don't care. I mean, again, everything's fair game at this point because it's not going to get any better. It's not like Gavin was saying, or somebody, it was Gavin, but somebody else was saying, you guys need to calm down. We're still first in the division. What does that mean? What? What is that getting us? A little title? A little freaking thing? We're not beating. We're not beating anybody. I don't care if we play the Jets in the first round, which is clearly not possible. But it doesn't matter who we play in the first round. We're not beating. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not somebody who's saying we should tank because I don't trust the GM to use the picks that we get from that tank to work anyway.
Nope.
It's just I'm not going to look past this and be like, oh well. The positives is that, we really don't lose a game because the Washington football team also lost. Like what? Like what do you want me to do with that? What do you want me to do with that?
And that's the scary thing. We're in a really tough position because next year, like you guys have been saying, this cap is not our friend, and we have not, especially up. That's the only reason why I kind of agree with maybe giving Hurts a couple games just to see what his trade value might end up being. Because next year we don't know who we have. We have outside of maybe obviously like a Miles Sanders, maybe a Jordan Mailata, maybe or maybe a Travis Fulgham, who really stepped up so far this year that you could really say, let's build something around them, or, let's at least keep them even, like you guys are saying, anybody's fair game right now. We have no idea what we have. We know the only consistent thing this year is how inconsistent we've been. That's literally the only consistency we've had this whole year. So it like you said, it's only going to get worse,
So, there's nobody on this roster, Jake. There's nobody on this roster that's not tradable right now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Let me just ask everyone a question. Are we happy about passing on Justin Jefferson? Just a thought. Just curious.
No, but I'd rather have Patrick Queen.
No.
Because obviously my defense isn't good enough. So, I could have used you went up the
right now,
You went up the middle in sports, right?
My mic was muted. I was told all offseason. Okay, the linebackers were fine. We don't need no linebackers. Go get a wide receiver in the first round.
You don't even use
wide
linebackers.
Receivers.
Not the way Jim Schwartz uses linebackers. That was the whole rhetoric. You got to trust
Ralphie,
him.
I would love Patrick Queen too. Don't get me wrong. But how confident are you that Jim Schwartz is going to be able to use him correctly? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Jim will probably
get him out of here.
What do you
get him out of here.
What do you guys mean now? Because no, I don't do that. I don't do that when I talk about like impactful guys that can play, that can roam and go sideline to sideline, can play, can defend the passing game, right? I don't buy into them guys caring who the coach is. Certain guys I don't give a shit. Like especially on the defense side of the football, especially in them kind of positions, linebacker, D-line, like that's guys who just go eat. You know what I mean? They go eat, they go to work. Your secondary more matters on your scheme to me. Unless you're running a 3-4, right? That matters scheme-wise. But if you're running a 4-3 and the guy's a 4-3 linebacker, I don't care who's coaching. You know what I mean? I don't care if the dumbest guy in the room's coaching because he's going to go make plays. Now, secondary, we see it. We've watched it over the years where we don't press, etc., where it can hurt some guys or we play zone too much. You guys know the deal there. But when it comes to them kind of players, like wide receiver players too, you got to sometimes coach guys up. They got to fit a system the right way. You know that deal too. But when it comes to linebackers, man, like it's amazing that we just never address it. We never address it. And you could have got a wide receiver in the second round again.
Yeah.
And it's not my fault you guys missed on one last year in the second round. So we shouldn't have been in the position to be so thirsty for a wide receiver in the first round. I'm thirsty for the best defensive player when it's a guy that should have been a top 10 pick. I'm in the business of taking him. Right, and the Ravens took him, and he flat out balls. And it's not a shot at Jalen Reagor. It was a position of big time need.
Yeah,
big time need.
It's getting to the point where it's sickening now. We don't put any stock into that position, man. Any stock. I mean, it's ridiculous, man. You had two top linebackers that were still on the board at 21, and you went the route you went. So, I mean, yet again, Patrick Queen's in Baltimore right now with the golden jacket on, already a Hall of Famer and All-Pro. So it is what it is.
Jake, what were you saying? I feel like you were saying something too.
With what? Just the.
Yeah, I thought you had something.
Well, if it's any consolation, in the offseason, maybe, but I doubt it. The Cardinals aren't even really playing Isaiah Simmons. So, if they're not high on Isaiah Simmons, we'll take him in a second, but.
That's funny because that general manager was really high on him on draft night, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they hardly play him.
Yeah, literally, I felt like they slept head to toe that night. The way he was praising him. So I don't know what happened. A lot of comments coming in. Gavin, no stock in the linebacker position. No, we watch it year in, year out since them guys left town. Mike Roll, this is the same coach that ran Bradham and Kendrick's out of town. Both would be better than what we have. Bill says, I love the gym haters. He'd have a job within 24 hours of firing. He would. No question about it. And again, this is why I would have drafted a linebacker. because that's what he wanted in the first round. So let's not forget this offseason on what transpired and what we found out. We found out Jim Schwartz was begging for a linebacker in the first round.
Murray and Chin, first 2 picks.
Yeah, if it's Murray or Queen, he probably didn't think Queen was getting there. So that's probably why he was married up. But even Kenneth Murray can play. So
dude, the Chargers, who already stacked up on defense, took him anyway.
They didn't even need him.
He's still there at 25, 26. Here's my second, my third. I'll just trade back up and come back in the first round and select them. And they didn't even need them because that defense is already loaded. Right? And we talk about Baltimore, right? That defense was already loaded with everything over there, and they took Queen. And then in the second round, do they really need J.K. Dobbins? I mean, Jesus. They took him, and he's looking like a stud too.
Yep.
Let me ask you guys a question. Obviously, I feel like I know everybody's answer, but do you guys at the end of this year, obviously, do you guys just flip it all? Do you flip the whole roster over? Do you try to flip it as you can? As much as you can flip over.
Well, listen, something's got to happen because you're in cap hell next year. After this year, you're in cap hell. So you have to. You're going to have to. You're not flip the entire roster, but some of these key guys, whether it be Fletcher Cox or it be Zach Ertz, one of them have to go.
See, I think it starts and ends with Carson Wentz. Like, what would have to happen, or what would happen if we were to really explore him not being our quarterback next year? And if he's not going to be our quarterback next year, then I think you do flip the whole house, because then you have to get younger. You have to figure out what direction you're going in. But if you're saying Carson Wentz is going to be our quarterback next year and Doug Pederson is going to be our coach next year, then I think you have to give them the best opportunity to be a good team. You know what I'm saying? You can't, like you said, if we're going to give them that one more year, we have to give them that one more year. We can't completely blow it up and then say, all right, do something. You know what I'm saying? We have to be, and even this year, it's so hard. I've said this a million times on my videos. It's so hard to analyze this team because we haven't had our team for more than like a week in a row. So I think it really comes down to Carson. If we give Jalen Hurts a week or two to play and we say, hey, this kid might have it, maybe, but money-wise, I don't think giving up Carson really helps us. I think it hurts our money even more and dead cut money. I could be wrong about that. I don't know, though. It's hard to say, but I think it really comes down to your decision on Wentz.
I'm looking at it, and that's a great question, Tom, because it's really tough. But I just look at it to where we always talk about the moves around this division. We kind of have to look at it with a real microscope because, the last handful of years, we really had a window to really dominate this division, which we haven't been able to do. Because you look up and down, especially now, there's no clear cut, I can't even say there's a good team in the division. Now, the Giants have been playing the best football, and they look like they've been improving every week, and they look like they have, a legitimate core of young players that are going to continue to get better, even though I'm not fully sold on the quarterback, even though he was Joe Montana the last 6 hours against us. But I would say this: I can clearly see the Cowboys are blowing it up. Okay, the Washington football team,
right? Isn't it the time to blow it up if you're going to? Because everybody else is in rebuild with, so you try to beat them all to it, and you keep Doug. Like you maybe get the defensive coordinator, obviously, but you keep Doug maybe to try to rebuild it again, like you did in 2016. And you gotta hope for, you can find lightning in a bottle again. But go ahead. No, I just want to say that part of it.
No, you're spot on, because I look at it to where, we're blowing it up because in the whole format of blowing up, you're moving on from guys like Fletcher Cox and big names like that have been a big part of this organization. And I'm not saying you're absolutely moving on from Carson Wentz, but I think you got to get into the mode of, okay, you're starting to entertain the possibility of Carson Wentz's maybe towards the end of his Philadelphia career. You don't really have that long type of chain that you had to start the new contract year. But you kind of look at it to where the worst thing for this organization to do, starting now, start the clock now onward, is to go about the next, let's say, year and a half to 2 years with Band-Aids. That's what Chip Kelly tried to do. And he put this organization back arguably 5 years. Now, luckily, Doug Pederson and the people that were hired here in the later parts of 2015 heading into 16, they did a really good job of solidifying it. And that's why I am okay with quote unquote blowing it up, because
would you keep Doug for the rebuild, guys? I want to add that in. So, like, if you're rebuilding, now forget the rest of the coaching staff. Would Doug be your head coach? Obviously, we're going to bring an offensive coordinator in, etc. All that's
he is my head coach moving forward through the rebuild.
Yes,
right.
Yep. Absolutely. What I'm doing from top to bottom, without saying this for 20 minutes, it's that I am reestablishing Howie Roseman's roles. I'm taking him out of drafting, and he's handling free agencies and the money. He's going to allot some kind of like what we saw with the Sixers. So we're okay. Elton Brand wasn't fired, but Daryl Morey's now a bigger step. You bring in a guy whose main role is for the drafting and really player development and evaluation. That's number one. Two, you bring in an offensive coordinator that's not a Mike Rowe who was just fired by his father the year before. Somebody who has years of a track record in this league. There's 100 guys out there that have had success in this league before. If you want to go to the Andy Reid tree, fine. Go to my guy Kafka. If you want to go to the Ravens, there's a million guys out there. You just have to be willing to look. And that's why I was afraid from the beginning. It's because the Eagles were never willing to look for their next guy. Which I don't understand, because even if you have a defined, offensive play caller, you can't have enough smart guys in a room. Never. So I'm looking at that, and I'm looking at, okay, what made us successful from the end of the Chip Kelly era to 2017? What got us from
Rise cutting out on us,
almost embarrassingly bad in 15, to where we didn't look like what we were going to do going forward, to where we were a Super Bowl contender 2 years later? What did we do then? It's not about what we did in 17, 18, 19. It's what did we do in 16? Because people are going to be like, oh, we sucked in 16. 16 set up what we did in 17. You know what I'm saying? It got us out. It got us out.
I like Doug. I'm indifferent. Like, I would be fine with him being part of the rebuild. I've seen him retool a football team and rebuild it and win a Super Bowl. So people want to say he's Brett Brown. I mean, that's a smack in the face. Brett didn't win shit, and he's here for 42 years. So, I mean, that's a big time smack in the face. I mean, Doug he's a Super Bowl champion. So we got to put a little respect on his name. I know right now it's doom and gloom, and I get it. Yeah. How's it not his title? But is it really Doug's title of the OC?
Yeah, he said that came out of Doug's mouth. He says, "I'm the offensive coordinator."
I thought he meant like, was it really his, like, the Super Bowl? I thought that's where he was going with it. My bad. He needs an offensive coordinator. You're right. 100% right. 100% right. Eric Bieniemy. I like Eric, but
he's going to be a head coach somewhere.
He'll be a head coach.
Yeah.
So
would you take him over Doug
as a head coach? I would try
in that position.
I would try it, but I mean, anybody's going to fail without talent. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I think when I'm looking to fire, I'm looking to move on. I'm doing that with my general manager. If I'm going to, the first thing I do, if I'm in rebuild mode, and then you guys answer the same question on what you two would do, Ralphie, Jake. But if I'm in rebuild mode, I'm starting with him and then rebuilding. I'm not rebuilding with Howie Roseman. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I've seen enough. I've had enough of it. I've seen it for a long time. I'm over it. I'm over the reach picks. I'm over all that. I'm over the smartest guy in the room on draft day. I'm over not listening to your coaches on players. I'm over it all. The same thing I said about Doug. If you become the smartest guy in the room and you don't need help, you failed. Well, guess what? Same thing goes for the general manager. So, Ralphie, Jake, what do you say? Do you blow it up next year and everybody's on the table? And do you keep Doug if you do blow it up?
Well, I think with me personally, I think when you're talking about blowing it up, I think it's really incumbent on what this team looks like during these next 5 games, during this next stretch. If we lose out, which I think we're going to, yeah, absolutely blow it up. If Carson continues to struggle and the team continues to regress, absolutely. I think with this cap situation, this cap situation is going to get any better.
Jake, did you just predict that we're going to lose out?
No, I'm saying during these next 5-game stretch,
You think we're going 0? You think coming out of the bye we're going 0-6?
Yeah, I think so.
We have that guarantees we have a top 10 pick. Then we're looking at a top 10 pick
if we don't make the playoffs. If.
Oh, shut up. I can't do this. I can't do this right now.
You know what's going to happen, right? Because you'll hear the guys on CSN, you'll hear the guys all over the place. The Eagles may have lost 6 games in a row, but they're still in it.
That would be our luck, right? We would win 4 games.
I'm telling you, it's the most Philadelphia. It's the most Philadelphia thing ever. It's the most Philadelphia thing ever for that to happen.
I'm so down on this football team, but I will take that bet. What do you want to wager? I will take that bet they don't lose the next 5 games in a row.
Bet an Xbox. Bet an Xbox, Jake. An Xbox, Jake. Do the Xbox.
I have zero good feelings about this football team, but they're winning 1 of the next 5. It's the National Football League.
I'll throw 100 your way. I'll throw 100 your way.
Honey,
I'll throw 100 your way.
You want double that, man? You want double it? You want double?
No.
All right, exactly. Be careful. You know, I think a lot of money on there. KM, never forget KM. Never forget Nitro. Never forget the Nitro freak. All the money he's lost to me. A lot of bold predictions, a lot of hot takes.
If we lose the next 6 games, man, I'm
walking off the wall. You want to jump with me?
Yeah, I'm finding the highest bridge I can possibly find, and I am taking the floaties off and letting
Browns, Seattle, Packers, Saints, and Cardinals. I don't see it. I really don't see it.
We at least go 1-5. We at least go.
You play up the competition, though, Jake. They're known to play up the competition.
Yeah, no, I hear you, but I just coming off a bye week and you play like that, I don't.
Oh, I'm not happy either. I'm so down on this football team, but not down to the point where they won't win at least 1 of the next 5. Like if you would have said 1 of the next 5, I wouldn't have bet you. You know what I mean? You said none. So when you said none, I got to come in.
Jake, I like how you did that. So you kind of slid that in there too at the very beginning. He's like, I've been going 0-6. I have them losing that. I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, excuse me. I like that out of you. That was smooth.
Now, are all our games during the day? Because I don't think we've lost or won a day game yet this year. I think we've only won our night games.
1 o'clock against the Browns. The other game is prime time against Seattle. That'll get flexed.
So, well, there we go. You got 1 win right there.
Isn't that crazy though? That's a great point. That's crazy because usually we're getting embarrassed on the primetime games.
Yep.
Wow.
Well, thank God it's not on prime time. Jesus.
Yeah, at least we can get the losses out of the way. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to wait all friggin' day.
Don't have to wait all damn day for a heartbreak.
Well, it's not a heartbreak if we're not expecting anything, Ralphie.
Mm-hmm.
It's more just like an embarrassment. You know
and then after the Seattle game, it's pretty much to the Cardinals. It's all 425 games.
So what do you do next year, Jake? Do you blow it up and keep Doug, or do you blow it up and go a different direction? Do you just try to get the cap right and say status quo?
Like I said, and I agree with you, Tommy, it starts with your GM. I think your GM goes. You have to blow that up. Doug stays, in my opinion. I'd like Doug to stay. But like I said, it's incumbent on these next 6 games, including the Giants game, during this next stretch here. With me, it's incumbent on that, me personally. If we do end up losing these next 6, then, yeah, I blow it up. Absolutely. I think I blow it up.
Joshua says, after seeing Daniel Jones run all over us, I can only imagine Kyler Murray on the read option. Yeah. Then he goes for like a 270. He goes for a 270 piece. Ralphie, did you decide what you're doing? I don't remember.
Yeah, I said at the beginning. I said if this, if we keep on going down this right path, I mean, I'll keep Doug for 1 more year. But I agree with Jake. Howie's got to go. Howie's got to go, and he should have fucking went last year. And I'll keep on bringing it up. What he didn't do at the trade deadline. He should have been going last year. We should have had a new GM now. So,
I want to say something to Bill. I want to say something to Steelers fans. 2 guys I love. You're both wrong because did you just start watching the NFL? I'm asking for a friend because you're talking about 1 win out of 5. Are you watching games today? If you watch games your whole life, it's the most ebb and flow league in the world. I will eat that bet up all day in the most ebb and flow league in the world that they get 1. They get lucky on 1. They come to play on 1. Come on. You both need to wake up. Steelers fans, just enjoy your football team and shut up, okay? I don't want to hear from you, Mr. Freaking 9-0, running around, chest out. I mean, it must feel great, doesn't it? I mean, how are you feeling? Write in how you're feeling because I just want to live vicariously through you. You know what I mean? Like, congratulations, dude. Shit. It's nice being that good. It's like so much fun being that good. Like everything.
Yeah.
food's better. You know, it's for freaking 20. It's minus 24 out, and a wind chill. You know, feeling like it's minus 80, and you feel like it's 85 and sunny. Like, maybe we'll open the pool today, babe. You know what I mean? You guys want to open the pool? Let's open the pool. Beautiful out. We suck. Such high expectations. I think we all did for this football team coming in. Not high expectations, Broad Street. Just high expectations, like a 10-6, 11-5 football team. Thought we were way better than this. And and when I get lied to, when I'm lied to, is when it hurts.
When we're getting lied to all off season, we got led on, fellas. We got played big time off season.
It wasn't even just long-term lies. It was like, we're going to start moving on from our old guys. Oh, but let's go re-sign JP real quick. We're gonna make sure we have leadership in the locker room. But Malcolm Jenkins, we can't really pay you anymore, man. We're gonna make sure we put our assets towards our linebackers. But Nigel Bradham really is a little bit too expensive. It's like, what are you doing? Like, are we that dumb? It comes to that. Like, do you guys think we're that dumb? We see it. At some point it's going to come to a head. I think a lot of people, like you guys said, we're in the hangover of the Super Bowl. Even me, I give these guys a lot of leeway. This year, I think, is the first year that I'm really just kind of tired of it every time I see it. But we've seen it. We know what's going on. It's not like you're fooling us. I think whatever happens, I don't care if we go 6-0 over the next stretch. I don't care if we win out. Howie needs to go. Jim Schwartz needs to go. And we need to figure something out, because I'm not cool with being a terrible team in the first half of the season. Just to, magic. Even in the games, I've caught a lot of flack because I was kind of probably the first person to be like, we should just see what Jalen Hurts got at this point. Because every single game we see the same thing from Wentz. Wentz does nothing in the first half, and our whole offense in general does nothing in the first half, and then they seem to turn it on in the second half, and we forget. We forget
or
that
vice versa, right?
Exactly.
First half, your grades an A+. Second half comes, it drops down to an F. It's night and day, man. It's crazy. It's insane. They can never stay level. It's always got to be a little roller coaster. That's why I say every time we turn the Eagles game on, welcome to the fucking Eagles roller coaster. Strap in and get ready. It's ridiculous.
What I took out of what you said is that even if they win the next 6 say, that you're still moving on from Howie and Jim, and that's what I love. And that's what I love, because I'm doing the same damn thing. I don't care. Yep. You're not fooling me again. You're not fooling me. If we win out somehow, like if that happened, which is not happening, if that happened where we went on that kind of run, which would never happen, I'm not being fooled into it. You know what I mean? I'm not being fooled in if like Carson all of a sudden plays great football and I'm going to give everybody else a pass. No, you know what I mean? That's over. It's over. It's over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I can't take another offseason of being linked to every player in free agency and not getting one of them and just getting the back end shit. I'm tired of that too.
I'll say the one team I think we can beat. I mean, I think there's a couple that we could beat. We stink, but I mean the Packers. That's a game we could win. We could win Seattle here. We're due to beat them. Their defense isn't anything special. So I mean, Cleveland, we could beat Cleveland.
Miles Garrett's pretty good.
No.
He just sat out half of the game, so maybe who knows?
Maybe
Saints in December. Yeah, up Joe. Saints in December. Cold one. Outdoors. I mean,
at the link too.
I mean, Jake, just Venmo it over now. I mean, they're winning one of the games. Venmo it over. If you Venmo it over, they won't. I mean, I'm watching Seattle get beat up by the Rams. I mean, I picked the Rams today, and I thought they would beat them. I think Rams are an underrated team, but you're seeing Seattle today get exposed now, and that's a little bit now. A couple times now where the Seahawks have been exposed. So nobody's unbeatable in this league, even if you stink. You know what I mean? Even if you stink.
Did something happen to Drew Brees, by the way?
Yeah, I think he got hurt or something like that.
That's what Joe was just saying.
He took a hit and Winston went in.
Gotcha.
How's Winston playing?
That's a good question.
He's slinging?
Probably better than Wentz.
Don't you do this. You're right.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
No,
I'm setting the bar low. I'm setting the bar real low.
Turn the football over now. Look at him. Look at him. He's at least somebody corrected their mistakes this week. You know, I'm gonna get into that one second. I got to figure out how to turn this heater back on. Hold on.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, Tom, you know, like we were begging him, like, hey, can we play a clean game? Yeah, I mean, he played a clean game, but it was also a clean game with no touchdowns either. Like, I was looking at the stat line for both quarterbacks, and it was just 0-0, 0-0. I'm like,
yep.
And yet again, I don't even think he even hit 300 yards passing again.
No, I think 200 flat, I think.
That's inexcusable.
I don't get it, man. I don't get it.
Ralph,
I think he's only hit 300 two times this year.
I think it was against the Bengals and
2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
No, not 2 games ago, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
Who knows? We suck.
Yeah,
Who knows?
how does that happen? How do you, like, I'm not going to say ball out, but you put up some numbers against the Steelers defense, and then you come into the Giants, and you can't do one. You go against the Cowboys, and you can't put up points.
Well, and Joe, I think that's coaching. I really do. Like I said, I don't want to put it all on coaching, but, you know, we talked for years about, you know, we made fun of the Giants for they were kind of a team that just, instead of figuring out how to win, they figured out how to lose. We talked about the Pittsburgh Steelers to where, especially 2017, to where they would play up to teams that they should beat. But then they would always struggle against teams like the Browns when the Browns sucked, or the Jaguars, and obviously the AFC playoffs that one year, to where we crushed Mike Tomlin for it. We crushed Pat Shurmur for it. Like, it's like, I'm not saying like it doesn't mean Doug Pederson's the worst head coach ever, but like, we can't say, and I'm not saying anybody here says it, but like a lot of the fans, like, we can't go after Mike Tomlin and be like, oh, well, Mike Tomlin's the common denominator why they're playing really good and playing bad. Okay, well, then we have to say the same thing for our coaches. Like, it's okay. It's the culture. That's what happens. It's fine. Because, like, and I keep going back to it, you know, you're coming off of a bye week, and now you're 1-3 coming off of a bye week, the last 4 games, and nothing's gotten better. Like, you've somehow made us feel worse now than when we somehow won against the Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? Like, we feel worse. And they're going into it saying, oh, we know exactly what we need to work on. We're going to be healthier. We're going to be more buttoned up. This is more penalties we ever had all year. This is the healthiest we've been all year. What changed? We got worse. We, instead of going to stuff that worked, we left it with a healthier roster. So, like, like Tom and I have been saying, Ralph, we kind of been leaning on, like, you know, hey, can we really judge this offense because there's been so many issues and all this stuff? Well, they should be showing it this week, like, hey, this is what –
that's out the window. Yeah, that's like, out the window.
True identity. The identity sucks then, because there's still no back, you know, in the backfield, there's still no motion with Rager. We're still not seeing that. Yeah. The whole, Jalen Rager's and Rager's been good, so I'm not blaming Rager, but I'm just using him as an example because this is the organization. They went out and got him. It's like, oh, we could use him in the backfield. Haven't seen it once. Oh, he could be our deep threat guy. Haven't seen it once. He could be our guy off screen. Well, we saw 2 screens, both to Greg Ward. Like, I like Greg Ward, but if you're doing screens, why don't you go to the guy who you got to go for the freaking screens?
And I don't understand, too, where you've seen it all year, too, with the Eagles and Doug Pederson, when you're in 2nd down and 3 and 2nd down and 4, and then he tries to get cute with it. It's not that hard. A little bubble screen to Greg Ward. It seems like whenever we throw a bubble screen, it's negative yards. But when everybody else does it, they take it to the house or gain 15 yards. So I don't understand. It's been like that with Doug Pederson for a while now. Whenever he gets in that short yardage situation, he tries to get cute with it.
And one last thing, because go ahead, Tom.
No, I was just Rafa. You're right, because like if you know you're going for it on like 4th at times, his 3rd down play calling is like mind-boggling sometimes.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
If you knew you're going for it, then why aren't you running it on 3rd down? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Either get the 1st down or get it really manageable. So
what I don't understand today too is that Miles Sanders is destroying the Giants up the middle. Every running play up the middle, destroying them, and then all of a sudden it seemed like 5 straight run plays were outside zones, and he couldn't do anything.
And that's
So
a
why
trend,
are we
Ralphie.
going away from something that's been working the entire game to something that's not working at all?
We saw the same thing against Dallas 2 weeks ago, to where we were running the ball with Boston Scott. He was averaging 6.5 yards per carry. We went away from it. I was screaming there a couple hours ago. I'm like, I don't need to see Wentz throw the ball again. I'm good. Like, obviously I was exaggerating, but like when Miles Sanders looks awesome, and I'm like, okay, this is good. Let's do this. But no, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. And then, like, somebody was asking earlier in the chat, I just lost it. But somebody was talking about, like, you go all throughout this team, right? And then you look, obviously, at the third downs, all right? And you look, and you're 3rd and 1. And then you're trying to throw the ball 7 yards. It's a trend. It's an absolute trend. But then you go 4th and 1, and then you make a really good play call. It's like, why did you need to go to 4th and 1 to make a good play call? You know what I'm saying? It's like, is the reason why we're so bad on 3rd down? It's because Doug views every 4th down as like, that's a go for it down.
I got to blame all you guys right now. I'm done blaming Doug for play calling. You understand me? I want everybody to understand this right now on how this works. Because if you're watching the game, you're seeing this team either no huddle today or get a playoff with 1 second on the clock all the time. If you really paid attention to it, which tells you he's changing the play every time at the line on what he sees. So now I'm starting to wonder, what are you seeing? You understand me, guys? He's changing every play call at the line of scrimmage. Every play call has changed. They're getting plays off of 1 second, or they're harried up today. So as much as I want to blame play calls, maybe design is a very good word to blame Doug on. I'm right there with you. Design, love to talk design. But in terms of play calling, I can't because I'm watching the quarterback change every play, or they're in the hurry up. So to me, this is on Carson. Pump your brakes. You don't need to go third. You got a 3rd and 3, and you're trying to throw a 10-yard pass, right? You know what I mean? Like, now if it works, great. But my point is like we were talking about, hey, put it in a gut one time. Maybe you read option. So I'm starting to question what he's starting to see at the line of scrimmage right now.
Well, then when do we take that away from him?
I don't.
Because I agree with you. I agree. You're spot on with that. So I agree.
This is what happens. It's just what I'm watching happen. I'm not like taking a shot at you. I'm saying you want to blame something. Absolutely, Doug's got blame. It's the designs. I think stink. Watch the overhead designs. They're horrendous. You got guys. You got rollouts going one way and guys going the other way. What are we doing?
Yeah.
High school football. You know what I mean? What are we doing? So,
Wentz is rolling out to the right. Everybody's going to the left.
It really shows. It really shows the true indictment is this quarterback's coach then, because that's the guy who's supposed to be talking to him. That's the you know what I'm saying? Like, if Doug's not doing it, well, then go to the guy whose literal job is to make the quarterback comfortable.
Well, what did Ron say? Remember Jaworski? What did Joel say?
He doesn't know who to talk to. He doesn't know who to talk to. There's so many voices in the room.
So many people. Yep.
Scangarello, you got Press Taylor, you got Doug, you probably got Deuce, because Deuce is like the official assistant to Doug. And Carson's probably telling him, hey, Deuce, go worry about Corey Clement. Go worry about Corey Clement, Deuce. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've got so many, rooms and voices in the room. It's kind of like, okay, well, what am I doing? And when Joel said that, everyone was like, oh, well, you're giving Carson a pass. No, there's a difference between an excuse and a reason. And listen, nobody knows what's truly going in there except for the coaches. But for somebody who's been in that situation, I trust his opinion, and it makes a lot of sense, especially when you see all these new guys coming into the room, all these new appointed guys, all these new mindset guys.
Let me ask you guys one more question about Carson, because I don't want to make it a whole Carson thing, right? I don't like doing that. This isn't a one-man sport. All right, so it takes a lot to get to where you want to get to. Do you? And I hate the question because I don't know how I feel about it anymore. Do you think everything that's transpired since 2017, and then obviously drafting Jalen Hurts this year, like I said, like to my wife a million times, like, if that happened to me, I'm pissed off at the fucking dinner table that night. You understand me? Things are getting thrown around the house. Like, who the fuck are you to draft the quarterback in the second round? Just give me $100 million to be the guy. Why don't you give me more talent? Think Aaron Rodgers didn't toss shit? But the thing is, Aaron Rodgers won Super Bowls. Aaron Rodgers has been played for a long time. Of course, hasn't played and doesn't have a track record. So for Aaron Rodgers, it's not going to affect them. Okay? But what happened with Nick Foles and what happened with Jalen Hurts, I want to know your guys' opinion if it's affected his mental state. Because I don't care what anybody effing says. This game is mental. All physical tools are there for Carson Wentz if you have eyeballs. If you have eyeballs, you watch him, you say, yeah, dude, that dude can play. Right? But then the mental comes in. They try to do too much. They try to prove I'm the guy on every play. Has it weared on him? Or do you think it's just, no, it hasn't?
Well, when you think of it too, when you sit down with the front office, right, as a franchise quarterback, and you give them a list of players or a list of wide receivers that you want, and in the first, second, or third round, right, and they tell you, okay, well, if he's there, we'll take him. Obviously, you took Jalen. There you go, Snickers. There you go.
I'm here. Don't worry about it.
But when you take, obviously Jalen Reagor in the first round, obviously you gave him a wide out, but then you come right back in the second and you take a quarterback. I mean, you scratch your head a little bit. You're like, man, I just sat with these guys 3 weeks ago, gave you a list of weapons, and in the second round you took a quarterback. So I mean, it goes hand to hand sometimes, and it sucks.
Do you think it did wear on him mentally, right, Ralph?
Yeah, I think it does. I think it does. But going back on Aaron Rodgers, though, I mean, do you think that him seeing they take Love in the first round at the end of the first round? I mean, look at Aaron Rodgers now. I'm just going to stick it right back up your ass. You know what I mean?
Yep. Man, that dude don't even talk to his parents. That's a bad man because he had a kid issue with him. Hey, that's a dude that's driven. I mean,
so that's why I think when you took. At least for me, maybe that was like
that night. Like he probably smoked a cigar after the pick. Like
these mother.
Yeah.
And now look at him. He's almost having a career year right now for Green Bay. Yep. Right? So you were thinking the same thing for Carson Wentz. Like, wow, these dudes took a quarterback in the second round. All right, watch that.
In the face real quick.
Hasn't transferred over yet.
Can I punch my brother Mario, who I've known for a long time? Can I square him up real quick? Like an air square. Boom. You know what I mean? What are you talking about? You played sports enough. Would you grow up? You played with the most mental sport there is in baseball. Would you grow up? Tell me it's half of it. And then he goes, however, the Eagles are in first place. Shut up.
Tommy, go ahead, Joe.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I feel like if you look at you could bring that question even deeper. Because is Jim Schwartz upset? Is Doug Pederson upset? That second round pick, if it is all Howie's pick, you know what I'm saying? That could have upset a lot of different people because that was such an unnecessary pick. And to kind of keep on Carson Wentz, I love Carson. I love any person on the Eagles. It is what it is. But if you're upset by that and that's why you're playing worse, I probably don't want you on my team, bro. I don't want you as my leader.
I'm right there with you.
That's what,
real quick, though, difference from upset and what the city's done mentally. With this
I don't want a weak mental quarterback. Yeah, I don't want it. This is Philly, man. This is Philly. No matter what, it's gonna happen.
No, but here's the thing, though. I'll just play devil's advocate with you real quick. In 2017, obviously Nick Foles wins the Super Bowl, right? For those 2 years in 18 and 19, you had that cloud over you if you're Carson Wentz, where Nick Foles is this, Nick Foles is that. You're not getting any credit in 2017, So then that goes away. And now you're the lone man. You have that dark cloud is not over you anymore coming into the season. And then the draft comes, and it seems like that dark cloud is back on him where, if Carson Wentz doesn't play, man, if he doesn't play good, Hurts is in. You got to see what, so it comes right back.
I'd live in the rain for $100 million. I would live under a dark cloud for $100 million. How much do you need to be told?
Just playing devil's advocate
I completely understand. Mentally, that's unprecedented. What happened with us, it never happened before. It probably maybe won't ever happen again. But at the end of the day, we gave you $100 million. We gave you a wide receiver. We gave you this. We gave you that. You have a very good running back. We have a good offensive line when they're healthy. I don't know what else you need. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to write you a thank you card that you had a good season, that you had a good game. At the end of the day, this is Philadelphia. You're going to get heat if you are not performing, and he has not performed. So, and if it's mental, that makes it worse for me because there's no reason, in my opinion, when you get that big contract, that big guarantee, and we're basically married to you. No matter what Jalen Hurts does, we're married to Carson Wentz contractually.
Yep.
What else do you want? Do you want us to go on public television and say Carson, which, don't get me wrong, if that's really what he needs because, to his credit, Doug has not done it, other than last week when Brett Favre did his whole little thing. But Doug has never really sat there and said, guys, you need to just shut up. This is my quarterback. These are my decisions that I'm making. And this is what we're doing moving forward. No one's done that. So it just goes back to accountability.
Yeah, let me real quick about like not wanting guys who are mentally soft. I don't believe Carson's mentally soft. I've seen him be resilient. What I'm saying is I don't even think it's a mentally soft thing. I just think it's a natural thing that's developed. And everybody in his ear. I think all of it's war, right? Like not like I don't know. I mean, it could be a lot of things why he's having a bad year. I truthfully just think he's having a down year. I mean, he's just had a kid. I'm not making excuses. I just think he's having a bad year. He could be getting bad night sleeps. You know what I mean? He could get a bad night's sleep. So I don't know.
Very possible.
I don't know.
I'm be looking back at this next year.
But he's got to play better. He's got to play better. There's no excuses for that. He's got to play. I said before. Yeah, go right. Real quick. I said before all week. There's no excuses for this game for anybody. Everybody was back, and I stand by that. No excuses. So
I just look at it like this, and Joe, you make a lot of good points, and I agree with a lot of it. But I look at it like this. Okay, I don't know if it's him being mentally soft, but I look at it in two ways. Number one, regardless of the situation, it is your job as the leader. Forget about franchise quarterback, $100 million man. It is your job as the leader to adapt to any situation. That is your job. Mm-hmm. Everybody, if you weren't built for it, you wouldn't be at this position anyway. So you were built for it. I don't necessarily put it to he's mentally soft or anything, but I think it's because of this. And this is just the best judgment I have. I'm not doing the Dr. Phil. I'm not doing it I'm not in his head. Only Carson and the people really close to him know what's going on. All right. But given everything that we know about Carson, given his words, his actions, and everything we know about the kid, how he's a fighter, right? I think it's because what really happened, okay, was him coming off of that injury in 2017. He wanted so bad for this city, for himself, to come back and return to be that Carson Wentz of 17. He pushed himself too hard. We all know that. We even knew, like deep down when we were celebrating, like when we found out we got the breaking news, Carson Wentz will return week 3 against Andrew Luck and the Indianapolis Colts. We were all really happy, especially coming off of that putrid loss to the Buccaneers with Nick Foles. We were all like, we could all breathe a little bit. But in the back of our minds, once the excitement settled in, we were just kind of like, this is kind of early, right? Like we all knew, even when he was playing, this is a little early. This is early. And we obviously know what that followed with. I think it's all these situations of the Foles, then injury, then Foles coming back, and then another injury, and then him leading the tour, leading the team to a playoff appearance last year, and then getting hurt, then Jalen Hurts. To me, I think it's he wants to so bad be that guy and help his team. And he said it that he's going to make the big play. He's going to press. Mm-hmm. He's done that ever since 2016 when he didn't have Lane. What was his true issue? We knew he could be the superstar, but he didn't tighten up the screws. He's pressing, and then because he's pressing, these are all the voices that comes into the head, and they got to say, oh, well, you got to stay in the pocket to stay healthy. And Carson's like, but I don't do that. I didn't do that in North Dakota. I didn't do that in 2017. I didn't do that in 2016.
Right? What they do? They were
stay in the pocket. Stay in the pocket.
It was missionary as shit today.
Yeah.
And then it's like, then they start saying, oh, we want you to spread the ball around. We have all these weapons. But he's like, well, I like passing to Zach Ertz. I like this. And then how he's like, oh, you like Zach Ertz? Well, I'm not gonna pay him. And then Zach's like, oh, well, you're not gonna pay me. I'm not gonna play good. And then Carson's been surrounded with.
Can I say something to that, right?
Yeah.
I think the writing was on the wall how the season was going to go when all that was happening. Mm-hmm. Because you're talking about a guy who's a big part of this locker room in Zach Ertz. People can say whatever they want. He's a big part of the locker room. I mean, we know about Yak, okay? We also know he catches everything. And I'll take a guy who gets open all day. And he gets open, all right? But that crushed this locker room.
Yep.
It started there. Okay? And it starts when guys start not liking, when guys start having issues upstairs and key members of your football team start having issues up there, guess what starts to happen?
Especially, Tom, when we've heard, Tom, we've talked about this behind the scenes. We've talked about it on shows to where all reports say that Zach Ertz and Howie can't even be in the same room together. That's how bad it is. It's like Ryan Grigson over in the Indianapolis Colts. So I'll say this, and Tom, we've talked about it over the summer, on shows a bunch. I honestly think the destiny of Carson Wentz and the Eagles, whether it starts next year, whether it's 5 years down the line, it's that it's going to come to a breaking point where he's no longer going to be here based off of whatever, either the team moving on or him being traded, because it was just so many things that happened to where he could no longer be that guy here. He's going to go to an Indianapolis or a San Francisco or a Jacksonville or a New York Jets or another team, and he's going to be Carson again. And we're going to have to live with it because we're going to be like all these other players, even with like Nelson Aguilar to an extent, to where, oh my God, it's another guy we let out of the building and we're paying for it. I honestly think that's the destiny.
And a guy he liked to throw the football to. Say what we want about him. He was confident throwing the football to him. You know,
and the last thing I'll say is this, and the only thing that I have hope for and I pray for is that when we finally do that and Carson's out of the building, we replace him with a guy who can actually play. You know what I'm saying? Because if we move on from Carson and we go to Jalen Hurts and he sucks, or we go to fill in the blank quarterback and he sucks, the blow's even going to be more aggressive.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you guys a question? What is your confidence level 1 to 10 for Carson Wentz moving forward? I'm still like a 7.5, 8. I'm not done on him yet.
In an Eagles uniform, correct? Not just his entire career. In an Eagles uniform?
Eagles uniform, yes.
6.
I'm about like a 5.5.
I'm gonna go 7.
I'd say 7.
I'm going
I'd
7.
say 7. I think he can do it.
Yeah, I'm not out on him yet. I'm just not there yet. Like a half a season doesn't dictate who you are. So, you know, we've seen guys that bad stretches. So I'm not gonna badmouth him. I can't badmouth him for today, really, because he cleaned up something that was so important for him to clean up and something we stressed. It's like nobody else came to play around. TTP, wow, my lord,
wow,
Gongos,
2.5, wow.
Is there a 1 in the house? Do we have a 1? Is there a 0 in the house?
My man Bryce is around me.
What's up,
7.
Bryce?
Mike McFly, 5. Wow, man, everybody's
keep them coming, fam. I want to see if there's a 1.
Guys, I can say one thing tonight. Can I say one thing to you guys tonight?
Mm-hmm.
No matter what you say about Carson Wentz, unless your name's Andrew Bailey, you're not going to be wrong. Okay, you're not going to be wrong tonight. Not tonight. That's all, Mr. Andrew Bailey. That one's for you, buddy. Because you're just a hater, so we don't count you.
Oh, we got a 7.5. We're going into the decimals. 7,
Bobby Hartman. 7. That a boy, Bob.
TTP just says, "Hey, it's not." Oh, we got here. We got a negative 0. We got a negative 0.
Wow! The Cardinals just walked it off. DeAndre Hopkins. Oh my God! Hey, Howie! Don't trade for him. Oh my God! Look at the Cardinals. Walk-off talk. They still got to kick off, but walk-off talk.
Who do they play this week?
The Bills. Hail Mary. DeAndre Hopkins.
Hail Mary?
Walk-off throw by Murray. I don't know. It might have been like 35 yards, 40 yards. It was Hail Mary. 2 defenders. 3 defenders. Yo, he just went up against 3 defenders. Right, you got to get that picture. You got to screenshot that picture and go up against 3 defenders and post that. 3 defenders and say, what could have been, Howie? What could have been, Howie? What could have been, Howie? What could have been? Jackass. What happens when you let nerds run organizations?
What could have been?
Instead, we got a quarterback.
Jesus.
True, but listen, every quarter. Listen, no guys. You guys see this catch, Joe? You see the catch?
I didn't see it.
You guys see the catch, Joe? Hey,
check it out.
That's Prayer City. Prayer City. Good ball, but Prayer City. Wow.
We could have had so many different things with that second-round pick.
So much room for activities. You know what I mean?
Seriously. It's sad.
Come on, Twitter. Where's the video, Twitter?
NFL update, Ray. NFL update.
Thank you, sir.
Dank, I don't disagree with you. I think he's got an ego, and when you're the smartest guy in the room, right, you fail. So, I mean, I think we're watching it.
Okay, hold on. Let me see. I'm watching it now. First off, Kyler Murray broke 3 tackles, of course.
Right at the 50.
Oh, my God. Jesus, Mary. What the F?
He lost all 3 of them.
You should just clip that with our clip.
Wow.
Jerome says 6. Yeah, he is the
That's insane, dude.
Wow.
I think I have the Bills defense too on my fantasy team.
Good
I think I have the Bills defense.
Lord.
43 yards
Uh,
to walk it off.
I am both upset and impressed at the same time.
I just can't believe that dude went up against 3 dudes. He literally went over 3 dudes and caught this ball. This is an unbelievable catch.
Hey,
That's why he's
hey,
the
Tom,
top 3
hey,
wide receiver in football.
hey, Tom, could Fulgham do that, Tom?
No shot.
I'm sorry, I had to do it. I'm
trying to eat another Snickers because I didn't eat dinner. So, and all I'm saying is my second show today too. So, whatever.
At least we don't have Bill O'Brien. I think that's something we can all be happy about.
Yeah.
Bill O'Brien is probably the worst. GM
And Adam
in the league
Gase.
right now.
And Adam Gase.
And Adam Gase. I mean, there's worse than us. You know, that's something we can at least be happy about.
You watch. We'll get a friggin' update in the morning. Breaking: Howie Roseman hires Bill O'Brien to be next offensive coordinator. Because then Howie be like, "Oh, well, you said you wanted an offensive coordinator." It's like,
Here
no,
you
not
go.
him, not him, not
Can
him.
you imagine?
Look at everybody. Look at everybody. Pooty. Fuck Howie, bro. The nerdy sports guy. Everybody should be all over. And by the way, Kyler Murray is officially arrived.
Yep.
There's to confirm that.
Because he came
Cardinal.
back, I think it was from like a 21-point deficit, too.
This is a crazy year.
Oh,
Wow.
my God.
What a game.
Mm.
Don, he ain't catching that ball. He ain't catching that ball.
He's not even catching it on the bench. Guy was wearing a friggin' T-shirt on the sideline today.
I called everybody nerds before, who looks forward to the draft or anything like that. But I want to ask you guys this simple question. Not you don't believe him because that's pretty obvious right now where we stand. But are you? I'm trying to think of the right wording for this one. You know, would you rather have a top 10 pick, or would you rather win a couple games and just get through this till basketball starts? That's the question.
I'd rather have a top 10 pick than make the playoffs and get bounced in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'd rather win game. It's a bad answer. I'm gonna say it before I answer. It's a terrible, but I'd rather win games. I can't do this. I'm not gonna lie. And I don't trust that one player is gonna make our team that much better. Anyways, that a 5 or 10. I know I'm probably gonna be the minority here, but I definitely just want to win some games. Man.
You're not the minority. I'm right with you.
Yeah, I'm right with you too.
There's nothing to look forward to besides okay, Sixers come back, soon, so that's fun. But until then, all I was on is the NFL. I mean, I want to be at least in the mix, even if I stink. You know what I mean? So I'll always take trying to win some games and hoping that we can win some games. I don't see how the hell we are, but I still want to hope that we can. Still want to have hope. So,
do you guys see that? Hold on. Look at that.
Oh, I see.
Do you see that? That could have been us. Do you see that?
Thanks,
That's
Hal.
a bird on his helmet too. It should be an eagle.
Wrong bird, Joe. Wrong bird, right?
Wrong bird. Seriously.
No,
God.
Listen. I know I said 100 times tonight that and a lot of people said it to where they can win the division, they could be on top of the division. It doesn't mean anything to me, but we still have to win games, man, for one reason only. And listen, I get it to where we got to get it to. We have to survive the basketball season and all that. That's all well and good, and I agree. We need to win games because we got to find out who can play on this team.
Mm-hmm.
We got to, because we can't blow it up if we don't have a structure.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I need to know if Fulgham and Rager and these guys could play. Hell, I need to figure out if I need to re-sign Richard Rodgers to a 10-year deal. You know what I'm saying? Because he might be my tight end one. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I need to figure out, hey, can Boston Scott play? Can Miles Sanders stay healthy? Hey, can Jordan Mailata play? Hey, can Jason Peters get the hell out of the city? I need to know this stuff because you can't recognize what to do going forward with the organization if you don't know who you have.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, listen, do I think we have a chance in hell of beating any team in the first round of the playoffs if we so happen to win this division? No. It's probably going to be a 40-piece and it's probably going to be over in the first half. But listen, if we do that, that means at least we have some players that should be here going forward. You know what I mean? And listen, at the very least, we'll know who Carson Wentz is, because if we go 1 for 7 the last 8 games, or 1 for 6 the last 7 games, well, we know who Carson is. That's for sure.
You know what the last 7 games is? What's between your legs?
Yeah, it's an audition.
Yep.
It's an audition.
What's between your leg talk here on out?
Listen, that's the same conversation we had in 16.
Yep.
We knew after week 10 that we were done, because that's when Dak had his breakout year. We knew we weren't winning the division. We knew we weren't going in a wild card. So what did we say? We said the next 10 games, next 5 games, whatever it is, we got to figure out who wants to be here. So that's what we got to hope for. And people will be like, "Oh, that's participation trophy." It's 2020. What do you want from me? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Because I'm not rooting for a tank because Howie Roseman can't draft. I can't do that with a good conscience. I can't.
I'll never root for a tank again. So
no, I did that enough with the Sixers. I've had enough of that. And the Phillies have been unintentionally tanking for the last 10 years. So I can't do it with another one of my teams.
Yeah, we need to do something, man. The Eagles need to stop making me depressed, because if Penn State's no better, you know what I'm saying? And I know everybody's gonna start hating me once basketball comes, so we can talk about that with y'all. But
everybody's saying they're done with Howie. Ralph, what do you think to that? Oh, the question.
Well, with Howie?
Well, the last question. Whatever. What were we just talking about? Where were we at? Where were we? Pull back
Are
in.
you rooting for? No, I think Ralphie, you already answered it, right? Are you?
Jake did then.
Yeah.
Can you repeat the question again?
Yeah.
No, are you like? Would you rather play for a top 10 pick, or would you rather try to win some games?
I'd rather win games just based on the fact I can't trust this GM with a top pick. That's pretty much it's simple to me. I theoretically, if we had a different GM, sure, but with this GM, I can't even trust him with a top 10 pick. So I'll take wins over that.
So the question really comes to, like, would it be different if we had a different GM? You know what I mean? A different GM, and we trusted him. Maybe we'd have a different opinion. So I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
Michael Parsons falls out of the top 10. We'll get a linebacker next year.
We'll probably pass on him for a gadget guy.
Yeah.
Ralph, is it pouring at your house right now?
Yeah.
It's pouring at mine right now.
Oh, great. It's coming my way then. Great.
Yes, sir. Good Lord.
There's a petition. Where do we start a petition to get Doug from out of calling plays? I don't know. Probably make one.
Right here. Right here, you got it. I know Mom is a Cowboys fan. They've been talking about tanking all week, as you guys should. You know what I mean? It's tough, but, that's his position you're in without your quarterback.
Tanking for Trevor.
Mike says, win some games, can't trust Howie.
Yep.
Exactly. What position do you look for if you're in the top 10?
Linebacker.
Yeah, linebacker, or I don't know.
General manager. Is that available? General manager.
Corner.
Do they have OCs? Do they have some OCs in the first round?
3-point shooter. Oh, wait, wrong draft.
Yeah.
I'll take the best player. Like, if it's a corner, I'll take it. I'll take the best defensive player.
I'll take a medical staff. If we can get a medical staff in the first round, I'd love it.
Can we get one a universal one for all the teams? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
all the teams could use that.
Seriously.
A kicker.
Yeah. Oh my God.
No, that's the second round pick, Ralphie. That's the second round pick.
Yeah. Right. Wasn't that Tampa Bay that one year they took the kid from Florida State in the second round?
Oh, Gonzalez or something.
Yeah, and he turned into be like a shit show. He couldn't hit
terrible. The most accurate kicker in college history, and
he missed 7 out of his 8. He missed 7 out of his first 8 kicks in the league.
Wow. Yeah, and then they caught him. Yeah, I remember that.
Sounds like a pretty mental sport.
Yeah, right.
Especially when you get $21 million from a certain GM in Philadelphia, too. You know what I mean? Like, ooh, 21 million. I'm just gonna stay inside. I'm not gonna go out and kick a little ball through some cones.
The one kick he gets a game. The one field goal he gets to kick a game. He misses.
Yep.
The nerdy sports guy says, we talked about Sydney having a pick today.
That's nice. That's wonderful. That's nice to see.
Yeah, and Ralphie, guess who the Eagles picked off today? Oh wait, no one.
Yeah, nobody. Well, Coleman just took one off the face. He took one off the face.
True.
You see that?
Yeah, I saw it.
Jeez.
Oh, we saw it.
Didn't wish I didn't say it, but we can't. It's the same MO. We never turn our head around for the football. It's amazing. I've never seen so many corners. I watch so much football. I've never seen so many corners for one team not turning their head around for a football. It's truly amazing. Like Darius Slay on that last play. I'm not trying to crush it for one play, but on that last play, like, come on, dude, turn your head around and bat that ball down. You're supposed to be a top corner in this league. I need that play. Nothing's going right for. You know what I mean? Nobody. Miles Sanders sort of said it. Nobody's playing smart football. They're all. Everybody's all over the place in a way, and I don't know what brings that together, man. Besides winning games, and there were winners of 2 in a row going into this football game, and it was smoke and mirror 2 wins. But to come out again with this effort is just upsetting, and it was fun. It's fun to get it off our chest like we did.
Yeah. Come out here and back to you guys. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening to my TED Talk.
Yeah. Right.
Usually I just cry in the closet, but it's nice to do
that works too. That works too.
Every now
nice to cry in front of people now.
Exactly. I like to
on
share
tape.
my pain.
On tape, live. Yeah. It's very comforting.
I'm surprised my phone hasn't glitched out with all those tears falling on the screen right now, but it is what it is.
I got to throw out one other thing too, and listen, I know we laugh at overrating the press conferences, but I know a lot of people in the comments mentioned his name. So Doug, he was asked about Alshon Jeffrey today, right?
Okay.
And anyone who watched the press conference, you know exactly where I'm going. And correct me if I'm wrong. I think I watched the same game we all did. You really didn't see much of Alshon Jeffrey, right? Like, except for like the first play, like one of the first plays where Carson overthrew him. It was like kind of like, hey, we really don't know if he's even in the building, really. So they asked Doug, hey, what did you think out of Alshon's performance? And Doug's like, oh, well, I think he did some really great things. I think it's some building blocks. What? What? What's walked onto the field without blowing an ACL? Is that the good thing?
That's a win for us right now.
What's he gonna say?
Didn't see enough from him. I don't know. Good to have him back.
You always want to build confidence. You always want to say building blocks. You saw some good thing. You always want to.
Just coach talk. That's all.
What did he say?
I don't watch.
My question.
Because look how upset you are. I don't watch him because of that. Like I expect them answers.
He continues to lie to our faces. He continues to lie.
But why you don't say anything?
He ignores all the other questions. He ignores all the other ones. You're like, why are you answering
Give me a Bill Belichick. Give me a quick Bill Belichick. I'm just here to listen. We're going to be better. We're going to be better.
Yeah.
If you say that 10 times, I'm cool with it. But just saying it 10 different ways, thinking we're like, oh, okay, well, now he gets it. No, we know you're just saying the same dumb thing. Like, there's no accountability. Nobody. So if you're not going to blame, and I don't even want to say blame. I feel like blame's a tough word to say, but if you're not gonna be honest with what's going on, then just don't say anything. Just go.
They don't even do a press conference at that point.
Exactly.
It's a waste of time for everybody.
Yep.
I mean, I will agree with today. I would have been pissed off. I would have had things to say. You know what I mean? Like I would have said, "Hey, we weren't a good football team today. We're not happy here." You know what I mean? And it starts with me, ends with me, and we'll get it right. And I would mic drop it. You know what I mean? That's not quick. We're on to the next one. We got a lot to talk about. We're on to the next one. And that's all. And then I'll drop my mic and let people talk about how you just walked off a presser. I don't care. Yeah. I mean, that sets a tone to your locker room, too.
I would like that. I would really like that if you did that.
So I agree with you guys today. Like, today's not a day where I'm blowing anybody. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not on my hands and knees for nobody today. You can say, hey, it's good Alshon got a lot of snaps and worked his way back in a little bit. That's good for him. You know what I mean? Good for him. Move on. So I agree with that, guys. I don't need coach speak today. My flat out stunk. So, I'll give you Andy Reid times yours on that one because that's another guy who just said the same things all the time. But guess what? We won a lot of games saying the same things all the time. So it is what it is. What it is, boys. But listen, this was a lot of fun tonight.
Yeah.
Joe.
Yep.
Can't thank you enough. Philly, the podcast fam. Joe Castro here, jumping on with us. So go give him some love.
I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, appreciate you and you guys, and all you guys jumping on tonight. It was freaking fun. We, I think we all feel a little better. Not about the team, just about ourselves.
Great performance. We had a better performance today than the team. I think we can collectively say that.
No, we absolutely did. We brought it. We
showed some great signs. Came out of the bye week really strong. It was good. Well rested.
Right.
Yeah, we were well rested. And listen, we came out with fire. We brought more energy and effort than they brought today. So it is what it is. Listen, we love you all for chiming in, commenting. Make sure you turn on your alerts. Subscribe. A2D Radio is where you can find us. Find Joe over at Philly the podcast. So listen, follow fam, download if you're on the podcast form because we're everywhere. And let's go. Let's go. And I don't know what let's go to. And I guess the Eagles, let's go. I mean, hey, let's go Sixers. Let's go.
Big NBA week with TTP. Big NBA week. The trades get to happen tomorrow. Yep. Let's go. Lakers already made their move.
Shut up. I'm getting ready to you.
Hold on, let me ask you a question. How the hell are they making moves when it ain't trade time yet?
That's what I don't get. Dude, it's almost like free agency where they had the free agency at the end of the week, but dudes are already signing on Wednesdays. And what's the point of having free agency if it hasn't even begun yet? It doesn't make sense.
Like I said, I'm a Nets fan, so if you guys want to talk some Harden tomorrow when he's an official Net,
there you go.
You let me know.
I ain't trying to see that.
I'm not either, trust me, but
I want no part of that. So listen, that's all we got to look forward to right now, fam. A little NBA. Hopefully new coaching staff make things better. But for the Eagles, we're gonna find out how tough they are next week. We're gonna find out if they're giving up or if they're coming to fight or not, right? A lot gets figured out next week, boys. Listen, for Tom Arnone, Ryan Brodo, Ralph Delvecchio, Jake Friel, Joe Castro, we love you guys. You guys are the best. And shows every day here. Tons of them. All the time. Set your alerts. We out.